and we are live right now. I want to say a very big welcome to our global audience. Welcome to the Global Women Conference. I know that you've been waiting. We actually had calls from around the world. Uh, they were trying, first of all, they thought it was last week. So they were saying, I'm on the page and nothing is happening. And then we got to tell them that it's happened this week, the last week of March. And we are live on Twitter, we are live on Facebook, and we are live on YouTube. So you can watch us on Facebook, you can watch us on Twitter, and you can watch us on YouTube. And today we have amazing, outstanding women from around the world that will be talking to you. And this is one of the reasons that we believe in such conferences as this. When a mother, or rather, when parents want a child to be a doctor, they send the child to listen to doctors. Why? Because they believe that when the child listens to a doctor, that the child will eventually become a doctor. So they send the child to the school of medicine. When they want a child to be a lawyer, they send the child to a law school because they believe that if the child gets to listen to a group of doctors, the child will end up being a lawyer. Listen to a group of lawyers, I meant. Now, but then not every lawyer is a great lawyer. Not every doctor is a great doctor. Not every engineer is a great engineer. There's another school. It's called the School of Greatness. Okay, so one of the things that these women do and what they are known for greatness. And I believe that this is like a school. And as you listen to them, you are being enrolled. And at the end of this class, at the end of this conference, you find yourself being great by virtue of what you're about to hear. If you're watching live, say with me. I want to see the comments. I'm watching live before I go further to introducing amazing guest speakers. How many are watching live? How many are watching live? And if you're watching live, tell us the the woman speaker that's looking so beautiful to you. Just write. You can write the name. Okay. Without wasting further time, I like to make welcome. I like to make welcome uh, a transpersonal therapist, an outstanding transpersonal therapist, a somatic coach, professional counselor, spiritual mentor, community advocate, and activist. I'm talking about no other person but Mari Ita. You're welcome.
Thank you so much for having me here. I am so very excited. So, what does it mean to be perfect? Have you asked yourself that question? What would you have to change? And are those your thoughts, or are they thoughts you've adopted or thoughts you've been given? What would it feel like to be perfect? How would your life change? What if I told you in this moment, right here, right now, you are perfect? What would you think? You'd probably think, oh, this woman is crazy, or you'd think that's ridiculous. If I tell you you're perfect, how does that feel in your body? Does it feel uncomfortable, or does it feel oddly comfortable? Well, I'm here today to tell you that you are perfect. And I'm guessing that you don't believe me because you're here at the Perfect Woman Conference and you are probably looking on how to become perfect. Perfection is defined as a state or a quality or a condition of being flawless or having as few flaws or defects as possible. And to the mind, perfection is elusive. That is because the mind cannot comprehend perfection. It has no reference point. Perfection is a divine quality. It is not a quality of the mind. And no matter how hard we try to be perfect, We can never obtain perfection because the moment we seek it, we deny our very existence. You are divine simply. Oh, it makes me emotional. I love this stuff, guys. You are divine simply by way of being created. You are the perfect expression of love. And just because you choose not to see it does not mean that it isn't true. Your perfection exists whether you choose to accept it or not. I'll give you the example. There might be a tropical or exotic fruit that you've never seen, you've never held, you've never tasted. So in your reality, in your belief, it doesn't exist. But the truth is it does exist. You have just not experienced it. And the same is true with your perfection. It exists. You have not allowed yourself to experience it. Experiencing and connecting to our perfection requires that we make a shift. We make a shift from being mind focused to living in the heart center. And we live in an age and a time where humanity values the mind so much so that we have overridden the guidance of our heart and we have neglected our bodies. We allow our mind and our thoughts to control our entire experiences. We allow our thoughts to define who we are. And the result is our perceived imperfection. The mind was never intended to be the center of our awareness, the guidance of our life experience. And it was supposed to be used as a complement or an accessory, similar to our senses. So it was originally designed to gather and import information, but most importantly, it was designed to filter out thoughts that did not align with the heart. Now, in the day and age that we're living in an inverse matter where we are allowing the mind to guide us as opposed to the heart. When we allow the heart to guide us, it will continually guide us in the direction of love and expansion. And then the mind becomes an accessory. It filters out everything that is not in an alignment with love. So anything that is not joy, peace, acceptance, abundance, the mind filters that out and prevents it from entering the heart space. But how we're living now, everything that passes through our mind simply drops into our heart like a wasteland. And that instigates a feeling. And that thought and that feeling create an energetic mold, which is thrown out into the universe. And what we receive is a physical manifestation that is an energetic match to those captured, trapped thoughts of separation, imperfection, and lack. And when we think about the heart, we realize that we generally don't think about it. We don't think about the heart unless we have something wrong with it, unless we go to the doctor and he tells us, you have high cholesterol or you've had a heart attack. And then we realize in that moment, that our heart is really important. And if it's suffering, the quality of our life is going to suffer too. But our heart is so much more than this organ sitting in the center of our body. It is the center of our being. It's the center of our spiritual wellness, our emotional wellness. It's the center of our energetic being. It's the center of our chakras. It joins our physical being with our spiritual being. It's the center of creation. It is our connection to truth, and it's the home of consciousness. And if we desire to divinely connect with our perfection, we need to change the way that we live, the way that we think. And that's because the mind has no reference point of perfection. The heart contains the remembrance of all we are. It remembers, it knows our perfection, it knows our divinity. And the heart doesn't know judgment or fear. And the moment we perceive ourselves as imperfect, we are judging or we are resisting an aspect of ourselves. That is the mind. The heart knows what we are. The heart knows that we are connected to everyone and everything. And when we allow ourselves to drop into that space, we have this profound love for ourselves. We have this profound love for every person, every animal, every plant, and the earth. Every encounter we have becomes holy. We see beyond the physical flesh, and we see the perfection and the spirit in every being. Every being. When we live from the heart space too, there's only one way of being, and that's loving. When we live from the mind, it gives us other options. That's when we wear different masks, right? We show up differently depending what role we're supposed to play, whether we're the mother or we're the employee or we're the wife. The mask also changes depending where we are. And yet when we are in our heart space, when we're owning our perfection, we show up the same way everywhere. We show up authentic, we show up loving, we show up powerful, and we show up in our truth. The mind has us focusing on fear-based thoughts. And the reality is, when we think in fear, limitation, and imperfection, it's dense and it's stuck energy. It keeps us trapped in our personal and collective illusions of imperfection, scarcity, right? And when we drop into our heart, what that does is it allows love to flow. It starts to dissipate and dissolve those illusions. So when we drop into our heart space, it doesn't only affect us. It allows more love to flow throughout everyone and everything. And we not only heal ourselves, but we start to dissolve the collective matrix, that collective illusion of imperfection. And my friends, this is how we become born again. This is how we become reborn, because we forget the illusion of imperfection and we awaken the love and the perfection that we are. When we're in this heart space, that's when we connect to the true power, the power of creation, the power of love. It is the most powerful and creative force available to us. It is that power that allowed Jesus to multiply the loaves and the fishes. It is that same power that allowed sages, yogis, and gurus to perform miracles. It is the power of love that allows us to own our perfection. And when we choose to live in alignment with our heart, the divine perfection that we are, and acknowledge that in every other individual, that is when we become powerful. That is when our life becomes perfect. Thank you so much. I enjoyed being here with each and every one of you.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. You know, you said something that's very striking. You said this is the Global Women's Conference, and then it started the Perfect Woman. And then he said, many of you are coming to be perfected. You're coming to be perfect. And then he said, but you are already perfect. That's what you said. And then I believe many people have a lot of questions regarding that, because they never seen themselves up as perfect for 1 minute. And here you are telling them that they are perfect. And I too, I've got a question regarding that. But before we go to the Q&A session, now each and every one of you watching, you can put down your questions, okay? I believe that Marty is more than available tonight. here in Africa, and then probably morning or daytime, wherever, with respect to the country that you're participating from, to reply and answer your questions. Okay. If you believe that you're not perfect as of yet, you can comment why you don't, and then if you need any explanation, further explanation. And then I want to thank Pastor Dr. Amaka Chukwemeka. Thank you so very much for watching us live. Thank you so much, woman of God. And thank you, Cindy Swa Mugini from Southern Africa. Thank you so much. We have some Southern Africa women watching. Thank you. Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Divine. Thank you. God bless you. Without wasting further time, I love to make welcome Anna, and I call her the warrior because she's exactly that. So I want to make welcome a functional, she is a functional medicine practitioner, licensed mental health counselor, best-selling author, mentor, life coach, and CEO. No other person but Maura Leville. Welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear? Thank you, Pastor Joel. Thank you, Marty, for being. Can you hear me, right?
Yes, we can.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for your audience to show up on a Saturday, learning about being perfect. Perfect woman. I start to say, you are whole body, mind and soul, undefined by your action or people's opinion, and take dominion over all your interests and life spaces. Ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you, this space is amazing because it's reminding you about who you already are, not who you need to become. I am a strong woman without anything else. When I kept on going through my life, I understand my wholesomeness. And because far too long, femininity and being female has been linked to weakness, dependency, and equality that is only good for child rearing and homekeeping. You would think that independence should be an aspect according to an entitlement, right? Because you own yourself. You've been there all the time. Own who you are, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies that are listening to me, the society has prescribed all order as such except a woman whose existence alone makes it impossible to have live, breathing human being walking on earth each day. Every day, I want you to look at yourself in the mirror and say you are perfect in your imperfection. You are perfect the way you were made because you were made at the image of your creator. You are a masterpiece, unique. We have been told that our worth, it's often brought up by being someone's mother, someone's wife, or a caregiver. And we are empty without it. Yes, ladies, we know nurturing is part of us. It's not all we are. The very aspect of being female and occupying this unique space in the world today is all that is needed to describe us as complete human beings. You're literally looking at yourself as a version to be. A new version is regenerated on a daily basis. Your brain, your competence is all the time underforming, and you perfecting every day because perfection is a destination. But who you are now, it's already perfect. The sign being of a woman is rising up yourself to a place where discrimination is no longer accepted, where you weave all kind of mediocrity, because the only permission you need to step up to who you are supposed to be is the acknowledgement that the society's opinion don't have to be yours. All you need to be, all you need is your zeal to seal the deal. Start a business, a podcast, your education. Be unstoppable. After all, you are by nature equipped with intelligence to perform at any space. I need not to mention how strong you are. Our integrity, empathy, dignity, compassion, and kindness make us innately amazing, strong. This empathetic quality are shoved inside for the male aloofness that is praised for dominance. We are tired of being sidelined because of the simple act of being human. It is clear that the society is blind for not recognizing that as power continually taking and never giving recognition to the woman. And no, we ask not for validation, for equal opportunity to thrive in the world as women. We are strong and beautiful, lacking nothing and pushing forward despite everything. If that doesn't describe us as independent and strong, I don't know what will. I don't know what's stronger. A woman in her own element, despite the nays, most of them bass, or woman who own her worth, in spite of the societal binds that tell us otherwise. Ladies and gentlemen, listen right now. If you are listening here, you were created and designed to be here in this moment, to recognize your worth. It's something that is not negotiable. Your worth, it's not something that is stoppable. Your worth, it's not something that you can afford to condition based on the way you were brought up, based on the way your trauma defines you. Let your story redefine who you are. Listen to the whisper of your soul right now. That yearning feeling that's telling you to circle the boxes that you've been in. Listen to your heartbeat. The cadence, ladies, of 1,000 footsteps of women in history, trampling misogyny to pave a path for you. And turn us straight, your light is enough to take you through. So why are you deeming yourself as if you are not phenomenal, creative, and talented as a being? Why are you dying at the gatekeeper's sword while you have the key? And why are you asking for permission to be you to people who will never spend a minute being you? Why are you hoarding your craft? You are procrastinating that project, stalling that business, that idea that has been inside of you, but that needs to give birth. Take your place in the world. You are not a mistake. You are created unique, special. So today, I need you to stand up for all that you are. Realize the strength in your brokenness, the authority hidden in your silence. I need you to recognize the revolution hidden in the parts that you neglect. It's not time to kick yourself down because the patriarchal society has done enough of that. It is time to make moves. Time to dethrone the imposter. It is time to own who you are with all your might. So today, promise yourself to be so strong so nothing can disturb your peace of mind. And talking health and happiness to every person you meet in your life. Like the ultimate creed, continue to say, of your future. And don't think less of yourself because you are perfect in your imperfection. I am so honored to be here among stars. Pastor Joel, you are doing an amazing job to uplift the world, uplift the women in those days to take their place in the throne where they belong. Thank you for speakers, amazing speakers, to reassemble us, to inspire women out there to start your journey today, to reinvent yourself no matter what, and decide. Let your pain become your source of inspiration to inspire and empower and uplift the spirit of the wounded. It doesn't matter where you start, because it's not the end. When you start, you're going to have to figure it out, but start somewhere. You don't have to be great to get started, like Les Brown said, but you have to get started to be great. Start your journey today. You don't need anything. All the unique quality you were supposed to have to become that amazing, powerful being is within you. Go shine your light. You are amazing. Thank you.
Amazing. That was so amazing. Thank you so very much. You were so inspiring, and then you spoke with so much energy as to, I believe that they were hearing it with the force at which you were speaking, and their lives will never remain the same. Before proceeding to the questions from the audience, I've got this question that I want us to talk about, because prior to this meeting, we have a lot of people that communicated with me. We have a single mother from a part of Africa, and she has been finding it difficult because she's left with her daughter, and it's not being fair on her. I've gotten a message from a lady that wasn't so pleased with her body, so she's thinking of going for some surgery to work on her body. We've got a lady to we've got a young girl that her parents, she's not with her parents. I think her parents are late and she's struggling. And then one time she asked me, she was talking with me, and then she felt like she's nothing compared to what she sees out there in the world, and how some women are, how some ladies of our mates are. Okay. So and amidst all these differences, because I believe most of them are watching this now. So you tell them, in the midst of their struggle, in the midst of their strife, you're trying to tell them that they're perfect. So I want to know, how would you get them to believe this, that they are perfect in the midst of what they are going through? Because they look at themselves and they don't see any perfection with respect to what they're going through. You see, how can, with the lady that spoke to me and said she wanted to work on some part of her body so that she look more like, and then she mentioned the name of the celebrity she wanted to look like, and she believed that the celebrity did that. So in this, how can you how what, because I believe that they're watching this right now, and you're telling them, hey, you're perfect, and they're listening. Oh, are you really sure I am? So let's hear from Mari. What do you have to say concerning this?
I would say that they are perfect, but they're not experiencing it because they haven't learned to love themselves. When you love yourself, love equals acceptance, right? We know that the divine loves all his children. And as us, we're looking at some of them, sometimes we're like, are you sure? Really? But he does. Love equals acceptance. And when you love yourself utterly and completely, and that's not a thought, that is a sensed experience. That is a lived experience to love yourself. It's not something that happens overnight. It takes work because we live in a society where we've been taught that love makes us weak and love makes us vulnerable. And the truth is, love is incredibly powerful. Love is a creative energy. It changes thought form. It manifests things. So when we love ourselves, let's say it is, I don't really like my nose, right? When I love myself, the nose becomes irrelevant. I understand that the body, if we're using the body experience that you brought up, the body is simply a vessel that our soul is having an experience in. And it doesn't have to impact the quality of our experience unless we let our mind think so. Our mind is the one that judges. Our heart doesn't judge. Our heart accepts. And so there's not really an easy way. Yeah, easy, drop into the heart, be in your loving. But that is a process. That takes work because we've had however long it is we're living. So if I've been living 48 years and I decide that I want to start to really learn to love myself, I have 48 years to undo. But the beautiful thing is if you're working with God, source, spirit, creator, whatever term you want to use, it's not
Amazing. That's amazing. So if I love myself, I get to accept myself the way I am, and no matter what I'm going through, I'll I'll believe because I accept that I'm perfect and I love myself. Is that it? Am I correct?
Yes, and the experience that you're having is the perfect experience for you. It is what you need in this lifetime to learn. And so that's where that choice point always comes in. We can choose to live it with the mind where we judge it and it becomes a hardship. Or we come from the heart space where there isn't judgment and there is acceptance, right?
Yeah. Amazing. Mara, let's hear from you. What you have to say?
To add to what Marty said, first of all, is understanding who you are now is not who you really are. What happened? We are conditioned. We are predisposed to think of who we are because we don't design who we are. So who we condition to be become it. We come from generational trauma. We come from that descendant that say we are not good enough. How many of you that are listening right now have heard only word of encouragement from your parents when you were growing up? Say yes. If you're not, understand who you are now. It's who your parents, the societal pressure have made you. But it's not who you are. Who you are at true essence is that beautiful, amazing, nurturing, compassionate human being. And you have not touched it yet. So you are comparing yourself with somebody that has done 20,000 surgery to fix every single piece that he or she feels that was imperfect and still feel. Let me say to you, as a human, as a mental health clinician, as a coach working with so many individuals, People from size 0 continue to say to themselves, I'm not good enough. I'm too fat. People at size 16, 18, 20 are saying the same thing. I want to lose weight to look better. They lose weight. They still don't feel confident. So now what are you telling yourself? What are your story? Because you define yourself by your stories, and the stories of your life define who you are. So how about changing the stories of your life to redefine yourself? Because your past should not define you. Your past should refine you. And that's how you will understand the quality of your life will be defined by the quality of your association, the people, the prayers, the faith, focus, and the well-being. If effort you're putting on yourself, not finding a quick solution that will not be sustainable, but to do the work. Focus on the work. Results speak louder than reason. You're giving yourself 1,000 reasons, but you don't want to do the work. Do the work. Associate yourself. Find mentor, find coach, find therapist, find people that can instill in you your true human being, who you were designed at your true essence. I guarantee you, you will think different. I lived there way back. Used to be size 8, and right now size 8. I did the work. And now I associate myself with Pastor Joel. I listen to his preaching. I listen to Marty. I listen to Tony Robbins. I listen to Les Brown. I listen to Joel Austin. You know, I'm associating myself to redefine who I am. And now I know, ladies, I'm good enough and I'm perfect.
Amazing, amazing. Look at this question. I don't quite know the country that this is coming from. She didn't quite specify her country, but then she said, I got pregnant at a she said, I got pregnant at a young age, and I have a child, and I don't know, everything looks like it's falling apart every single day. I want to be better. Please, what should I do? What should I do? Okay, who wants to say something? Okay, all right.
I will. I would say that sounds like an incredibly difficult situation, and one that probably doesn't have an answer that comes in one sentence. The one thing that I would offer is to inquire as to whether you have asked for assistance beyond yourself to the universe, God, source, creator, whatever term feels comfortable for you. Because oftentimes in our experience, we feel like we are alone, and we have been conditioned to believe that we need to control the situation, that we need to fight against life. And the truth is, when we open ourselves up and we ask the universe for assistance, things do open up, things do shift. And there are many other things that we can do besides that. But they probably are very personal to your circumstance. And I'm sure I or Moira would be happy to assist her in another platform. What would you like to say, Moira?
Okay.
I work with multiple young women that had babies at young age. One thing I encourage you to do, don't let yourself define by a pregnancy. Your setback is preparing you for a bigger comeback.
Yes.
Reach out for help. Don't let your baby shame, guilt of the society make you become someone you never designed to be. Reach out to the great people around you. Find mentor. Guess what? Mentor Marty's there is offering. I'll be more than happy to have a conversation with you to support you in any way I can. And also, make sure you're surrounding yourself with people that can encourage you. Don't listen to the naysayers, because I have women young as of 15 years old that had babies. They go back to school with the stage of the age right now we are. Having a baby is the least to define you, to stop you to reaching your goal. Go back if you have to go to school. Reach out to mentors, friend, parents, family member that you know that love you. Don't isolate yourself. Start slow. Start studying online. Start doing something. As long as you keep moving, you're gonna reach somewhere. But if you stay stuck, nothing gonna happen.
Amazing, amazing. We have another question. That's amazing. Don't let your pregnancy define you. Rather is a setup, not a setback. A setup for a greater comeback. That's amazing. We have another question from Nigeria. She said, "How do we develop self confidence? How do we develop self confidence?"
I'm gonna start to say self-confidence is not birth. Self-confidence, it's a daily work. Self-confidence, it's that choice you make to not settle for who you were not meant to be. Look into yourself, to go inside and find things to redefine who you are. You know, self, that means inside of you. What are the things you are saying yourself? Remember, as a neuro-linguistic programmer, what you're saying consistently to yourself is the one that is registering in your nervous system to make you who you are. So, what are you saying to yourself? Work on you. If you need to get this better education, go for it. If you need to start small, slow, go for it. If you need to redo things differently, don't go for it. But work on yourself. I work on myself. When I used to be sick, I didn't know that I could become a functional medicine, doctor in integrative medicine. But I redefined myself, not by what I was hearing. When people used to say, Moira, you have an accent, I used to be so ashamed of myself because I did not know better. But when I become confident on getting myself educated, now if you ask me, Moira, you have an accent, I'll answer you. What accent have you been hearing? The French, the Spanish, the Portuguese, the English, or the Italian? Now you can redefine it, because now you confused. Because if you had intention to make me feel bad, now there's no way you can get into me. I think it's what we're saying to ourselves that often judge ourselves in a way that's so negative. We can't stand up to looking at ourselves in the mirror and say, I am worthy of my own love, and I will not let anything and anyone put the sticky on me and design and decide who I am. I am deciding who I am.
Amazing. Marty, you want to say something concerning this?
Absolutely, I do. So, if we are struggling with self confidence, it means that we don't feel safe. Plain and simple. And safety, or thought, or thought of lack of safety, is essentially that, right? It's a thought. And when we were born, we only had two fears. We had fears of loud noises and being dropped. Everything else we have learned. So when we look at ourselves and we understand that we are not confident, so we're hiding. We don't want the world to see us, right? We don't want to claim all that we are. So the first step that we have to do, again, love ourselves, right? Learning to love ourselves. And that's a real cliche saying. It's something that gets thrown around left and right, but it's an actual process. We learn to be the parent that we never had, right? And it's not that our parents necessarily were bad parents. They parented us with the goodness, for the most part, the goodness of their heart, the best of their ability. But we are a unique individual. We have unique needs, and they might not have been able to satisfy those needs. And so, somewhere in that translation, we didn't feel safe, we didn't feel seen, we didn't feel heard. And so, we have to learn how to do that for ourselves, because if we don't know how to do that for ourselves, we'll run around trying to find it in the external, and we won't find it. And that will shake our confidence even more. So, that confidence comes from within. And I would say, yes, it's doing the work, but more importantly, it is dropping into who you really are. Because for the most majority of people, they have lost the connection to who they are, to that essence that's fearless, that's perfect. And that's why they're in the experience that they are. So to connect to that is coming back to love and self-love. One of the things to do that is to do the inner child work, to reparent yourself.
Amazing, amazing. One last question before we get to conclude this, because you've often spoken about the heart, and then you did about the mind, and then about the body. So I'd like to know, as many as I've been listening, how can we differentiate between the heart, the mind, and the body? What does the heart do? What does the mind do? And what is the role of the body? And then how can we put it together to exhibit this state of perfection as a woman? Is
Do you
that
want to go first, Mira, or
big enough?
me? Which would you like to go first? I can if you want.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's hear first from the red hair warrior. Let's hear from you, Mother God. Okay.
When you say the mind, the body, and the heart, I see one thing. The mind cannot be separated from the heart, from the body. Different way you can make sure you take care of it. The mind, as you heard Marty said, is the one that's gonna be judging, gonna tell you things. In your heart, you have all the answer, and the body, you have to take care of it because it's the Holy Spirit temple. Okay, so I feel it's so important. We have a tendency to think we live in a separate. When you think about integrative care, I don't see anything separated. I see that integration, that interconnectedness, that dependency one from the other. So I feel that fusion over the years, Pastor Joel, to understand there's no one piece of me. There's just me. There's just that being that is so amazing, and each one fits perfectly, and they depend on each other for a full functioning. So the mind needs the heart to connect, to function, and the body needs to really provide to the heart and to the mind everything to function to perfection. So I love that question. However, I'm thinking wholly all the time, wholesomeness, and that's just what I feel right now regarding this question.
Amazing. Oh, wow. That's so striking. Let's hear from Marty then.
So my answer is going to be quite different, because yes, I do agree the mind, the body, the heart is part of the body, but I'm assuming when you say heart, you mean spirit. Or anyways, we'll go mind, body, heart, right? Yes, they need to be aligned. But in order to acknowledge our perfection, we need to acknowledge that we are none of those things. We are not our body, we are not our heart, we are not our mind. We are the observer of all of that is happening. Life is happening through us. We are a spirit essentially here having a human 3D experience. And if we get attached to that mind, body, heart to the point that it's our identity, we're going to be in for a bumpy ride. We won't find our perfection, because our perfection comes through that understanding that we are a spirit, that we are this divine being having a human experience here.
Amazing. Amazing. Amazingly, when we say the heart, most people like I already have the feeling that that's talking about the spirits, right?
But it's to be the observer of the mind and the body, right? To understand that our thoughts are not us, our body is not us.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Amazing. And this what you've said, what both of you just said, it's so true. And as this information has been coming to each and every one woman, I believe that it's been documented in your mind. Okay, it's going to your spirit, but then it's been arranged in your mind. And then I believe that the body reflects the content of the mind. Okay, the body, whatever that you've stored in your mind, the body has a way of reflecting it. That's why I believe in conferences like this, because as you're hearing from Mora, as you're hearing from Marty, it's being stored in your mind, and sooner or later you find yourself reflecting that you are not what you go through. You find yourself reflecting that you're perfect. You find yourself reflecting all these great virtues just by subduing and subjecting yourself to these great words. And I was talking. One of the speakers was talking with me, and then she said, "Where are you getting the sponsors for this conference?" And then I said to her, "I didn't ask for sponsors for the conference. I am single-handedly sponsoring this. And why? Because I believe in the impact. I believe in the results. I believe in what's going to happen to the lives of women by virtue of participating in this meeting. I've observed one thing, and that is by getting things in the word. For example, I can get a mobile device, and with time, I'm kind of tired and bored with that device, and then I want another one. Okay, I remember a dear lady. I think she's going to be speaking tomorrow. I remember when she got a house and she was excited, and she told me about this house that she bought, and 2 years later she wanted another one. Okay, so no matter what you get in life, you always want another one, and then you kind of get bored and tired of it. Okay, so that makes me seek out for things that has eternal value, eternal impact. Okay, things that count even while as you're not in your body. I also believe that man is a spirit, and that when man dies, his spirit leaves his body. Okay, and when your spirit leaves your body, you find out that you cannot make contact with the things of this world. And at such times, the only thing that counts for you are your eternal impacts. Okay, that's what counts for you. That's why I believe in meetings like this. Okay, that's why, and that's why this morning I was thinking about it, and then I said, God, I thank you for such opportunity to be involved in eternal investments. When I do things like this, when Mora speaks to you, Marty speaks to you, is eternal investment. And this investment lives forever. It lives in your heart forever. And sooner or later, you find yourself replicating and reflecting these things. Amazing. We have someone from Southern Africa.
Oh, thank you.
Marty and Mora. Thank you. All right. You know what? As many that are watching, tell us your best speaker so far. Tell us, just write it, and then we can display it as we'll be coming to a close. So, and then prior before going, I want to give an opportunity, because we want to have summits and conferences like this. Okay, we want to have summits and conferences like this. We don't want to stop here. We want to carry out some some projects to help women all around the world, and also want to have some university outreaches. We want to help people. We want to make eternal impact all around the world, starting from where we are. And we'll be given opportunity for you to give if you're watching and you're blessed by this. I believe that it will be shown on the screen.
I think that Pastor Joel
I do.
has
Joel,
been out temporarily. And if it does, I encourage everyone to just make comment and encourage each other that's here to just live a life of, I love this word that he uses, eternal impact. This is amazing. What do you think, Marty? You are muted.
I agree. I was just messaging him because I think he was planning on displaying our contact information up there. But I do. I love the idea. Um, it's not an idea, it's an actuality, but the fact
Yeah.
that when we hear, see, or experience anything, it has a cellular impact on our body. So every experience we've had, everything we've ever heard, has an imprint in our body. So there is that eternal impact for sure.
Mhm. And it's so important to realize that you don't have to do big things to have an impact in the world. And sometimes the smallest thing, the smallest ideas are the one that are so profound. And that opportunity you have to touch a life, and it makes a difference in the world, and then take it and run with it. You don't have to
Absolutely.
start so perfect. Yes.
Yeah, one of my favorite experiences that was relayed to me. She was explaining personally how for 3 years of her life she was on the brink of suicide, and it was like a daily thing for her. And thing, the one thing that prevented her was there was a bus. She had to take the bus to go to her therapy, and the one thing that prevented her from doing herself in was this one bus driver. And every day she said he smiled at me like he meant it. And that was all it took, that she thought maybe one person might miss her. So,
Mm,
yes, it is
powerful.
small things have huge impact. And we often judge what it is that we're doing. It's not big enough, it's not grand enough, it's not. But the truth is, every little bit matters.
Yeah, every little bit matter. And this is the reality right now. The world the way it is right now, Marty, and the amount of action, when I see people doing fundraising, everybody start with $1, $5, $10, and I'm hearing a million, 10 million, 5 million. It's always start in the small action one person decide to take to change the world. And I am here as also a testimony to tell people, uh, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself in small steps. And I start to tell people as a integrative medicine, start drinking water. It will change your life. Start sleeping a bit longer. Decrease your stress. Not the way you see stress, but how the way you project it. And we can't manage stress, but we can project it differently. So small steps, and
Yeah,
start living your really your authentic self, your authentic life. You talk about realizing self-love, even it sounds cliche sometimes, it's the way to start.
absolutely. Another one of the small steps to take that often my clients, they will laugh when they come back and they say to me, "Who knew breathing was so important?" Right? So you know the importance of breathing. We think, "Oh, we do it every day."
Mm-hmm.
But we aren't. We're shallow breathers, and
Yep.
if you tune in, most of the time people are holding their breath during the day, right? Like, and many times, and just that simple step of pausing to take a breath, it's powerful, just like drinking water.
I love it. I love it. And then we don't realize we're not breathing. Usually, as you said, in my office, somebody will come and I will say, "You are not breathing." Oh,
Yeah.
how come I'm alive?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can't see you, but we can hear you clear. So we are keeping our audience entertained because I know
Amazing.
you put us to the task, and I think
Oh,
Marty great job with that, isn't it, audience? Let's give it for Marty.
okay, yeah. Wow. Thank you so very much. Thank you. That was amazing. We had some equipment here caught fire, so we had to just deal with it. But then it's fine. Everything is under control.
But
I believe that they were getting so blessed that Satan reacted almost immediately, but we won anyway. So okay, so a big thank you to you. Now you can contact the speakers with the following instructions and details I'm going to provide. Okay, if you want to ask more questions, if you want to ask questions or get to be mentored by the speaker, you can follow Marty on Facebook. You can also follow her on Instagram, and then believe me, when you follow her on Facebook, you'll be inspired. She releases clips and teaches more about the spirit, the mind, and how to live from your heart, which is so amazing. And then you can follow her on Instagram at Shifts in Perspective, and then you can also write an email, and she gets a response to you. And then you can also follow Moral Levy uh, on on Facebook. You can follow her on Instagram, and then also you can write, and should get to respond to you on the email. Okay, you'll be so blessed following this great woman, I believe. And thank you so much. Thank you. And if you'd like to be a part of coming summits, coming programs, would provide details for you to give and sponsor what's happening, so that you can have more of this, and so that you can be a part of changing lives around the world. Okay, if you're in Nigeria, here at the we have uh, a detail that was showing right now. That's how you can give in Nigeria. And also, if you are in United States, Canada, Southern Africa, we have ways to which you can give. But I'm not going to be able to provide that now. You can just send us a message, and would guide you on how you can do this. Thank you so very much. I'm seeing comments already from Twitter saying, I think I had told them to tell me which one. uh Amazing. We have amazing comments here. Amazing comments. And we have amazing people following. We have an amazing woman from Southern Africa that had told me that she'll be watching with so many women with her. She has an organization of women. That's Monica. That's Monica. Okay, okay. She was watching live too. That's her comment. She was watching live. We have over 5 nations participate. We have we had women from over 5 countries, from over 7 countries. Okay, I was just corrected right now, from over 7 countries. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, and God bless you. Um, um, um,
Oh, I think we lost Joel.
Okay, so if you lost Joel, I think what we need to just do a quick conclusion and we'll be done.
I think so too. Yes.
You want to go? Go ahead.
Oh, I thank you all so much for attending, taking the time to invest in yourself, because when we do that, we know the collective wounds. One of the things I say is whatever's healed within is also healed without. And it's been a beautiful experience and a pleasure working with you, Moira. This is our first time meeting. Hopefully, we will have more. And yes, I thank you so very much.
I also thank you, Marty, for that great empowerment conference with Perfect Woman. And I look at you, you look perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you for gracing the public, the communities in 7 countries. Speaking in 7 countries, inspiring women all over the world. What I want to tell every woman that listening to this, it's inviting you to let your light shine. Because by letting your light shine, you're lighting up what could be a dark moment in someone else's life. You can ignite a soul, you inspire, empower, and transform lives. And when you inspire people, because only sometime through your presence, you can make people feel comfortable, make them become a better person. As you hear the story, a smile from a driver inspire someone to not commit suicide. What if your proximity could change somebody's vibration? Just imagine when you go to bed today, you decide, I did not fit in, but I stand out. So I want you to step up in your greatness and connect with your divine purpose, who you were meant to be. No matter what you've been through, right now, this is a new day. You can press the reset button, because what you tune to